This video I'm going to unbox, install, and set up the Emporia Vue 3rd generation smart home energy monitor. So the first thing that I'll pull out of the box is instructions on how to get the app along with some helpful tips on how to install the Vue 3 system and also some circuit labels. Next I will pull the main monitoring device out of the box and then inspect it for any use since I bought this from someone locally. It looks brand new though, so I will move on to pull out the remaining boxes, which the one labeled accessories contains the two larger sensors for the main line along with the antenna and other wires, which I will show later on. And the last two boxes contain exactly what they are labeled as. Each has 8 of the 50 amp branch circuit sensors, which is how I will be able to monitor up to 16 electrical lines for a breaker run throughout my house. Now I will scan the QR code on the instructions, which will take me to the Google Play Store where I can download and install the Emporia app, so I have it ready after hooking up the device. And after it's finished installing, I will tap on Open and then allow the app to send me notifications. Next I will tap on Create Account, then sign up with email, and provide my information, which I will have to confirm my email by submitting a code they send to the address I provided. And after I'm logged into my new account, I will explore the app a little bit, but I quickly realize that there is not much I can do in it without the monitoring device being powered on, so I will close the app until I can install everything. Then a couple days later, when I have the time to actually install everything, I'll pull the monitoring device out again along with the accessories box so I can connect the wiring harness, antenna, and the two main sensors to the monitor. Now I will go down to my power panel, and the first thing that I want to do after taking the cable ties off is put some gloves on to hopefully protect me from getting shocked if I accidentally touch some live wires. And after putting my gloves on, I'll figure out which way I need to clamp these two larger sensors onto the main line coming into my electrical panel. Then I'll pull out on the tab to open them up so I can snap them back together around each of the thick power lines at the top. So after opening the first sensor, I'll double check to make sure that the arrow printed on it is facing towards the breakers, and then position the sensor around the first line and squeeze it back together until I hear the tab snap back on. And I will do the same for the second sensor, again making sure that the arrow printed on it is pointing towards the breakers below the main line coming in. Next I will unplug the two sensors that I just snapped on so that I can do a little cable management by running the sensor wires down the right side of my electrical panel. So after tucking the right cable down the side, I will flip the left sensor around so they both look the same and then run that cable down as well to where both cables are on the side where they plug into the monitor. Next I will plug the cables back into the A and B ports on the side, which I really does not matter which cable goes into which port, so I don't have to worry about mixing them up. Then I will separate the blue and white wires from the black and red, which are the wires that I will connect to the two 15 amp breakers I installed to power the monitor. So I will pull the already stripped end off of the black wire, and then unscrew the bolt inside the breaker so I can insert the first wire, and then tighten it back up using my flathead screwdriver. And I will do the same to connect the red wire to the 15 amp breaker above, which I should note that both breakers are off and neither have anything connected to them. The installation guide shows that you can also connect these wires to a couple of breakers that already have wires connected to them, but you need to pull the existing wire out and connect it to the monitor wire along with a splice wire using a wire nut. Then you would just screw the splice wire into the breaker so that there is only one wire going into it as shown in the example to the right. Now I need to connect the blue and white wires to the neutral bus bar inside the panel, so starting with the blue wire, I will find an empty slot to unscrew using my flathead screwdriver again. Then I will pull the sliced end of the wire off and create a bend so it's easier to insert the blue wire into the slot in the bus bar I just unscrewed. And after I have the blue wire inserted all the way into the slot, I will tighten the screw back up so the wire won't come out, and I can move on to doing the same thing to connect the white wire to the slot below in the same bus bar. Now that I have all the wires connected and the two main sensors plugged in, I will turn on both the breakers at the same time, which will power the monitoring device on. I will then wait for a little while to see if the blinking lights will change to a solid light, but they just continue to blink, so I decide to move on to connecting the device with the app. So I will pull the app up and try connecting to device using Wi-Fi, but I don't see my network, and then realize that I don't have my 2.4 GHz band enabled, so I will need to use a LAN cable instead. And after running one from my router down to the electrical panel, I'll plug it into the port on the side, and then unscrew the antenna since I won't need it. The light continues to blink, so I spend several minutes trying to figure out why I can't get the app to start, but I eventually realize that I accidentally pulled the cable from my service terminal out a little, so that cut off my internet. And after I plug the cable back in to restore my internet, I come back down to see a solid light on the monitor, so I will try using that app again, and now it works as expected. So first I will tap on the Add button, then enable permissions by tapping on the green Allow Nearby Devices button and the gray Allow button. Now I will tap Allow Location and then on the While Using the App button to give the app permission to use my location. The app will then discover my energy monitor using a Bluetooth connection, so if you have a problem at this point, check your phone's settings to make sure you have Bluetooth on and configured properly. And since I am able to discover my device, the first thing it will ask is to name my energy monitor, so I will type in Home, and then tap on the green Save button below. Then finally it will ask if I have solar, so I will tap on the No button, and the app will update the firmware on my energy monitor device and tell me that my device has been successfully added to the app after it's done with the update. So after tapping done, I will play around with the app a little bit, but then decide to just use the web app since I still want to install some of the smaller sensors and will mostly be monitoring my energy from a computer. But before I install some of the smaller sensors, I will do a little cable management, and then also use a screwdriver to pop a round tab out of the bottom of my electrical panel so I can run the LAN cable through the hole and connect it back to the monitor. Now again, this monitor package came with a total of 16 of the smaller 50 amp sensors, so I will grab 4 of them to install before I figure out the web interface. And these work in the same way as the larger 200 amp sensors, so I will want to make sure that the arrow on the sensor is pointing towards the breaker in order to monitor the power usage correctly. So to install the sensor, I will double check that I have the arrow pointing in the right direction, and then spread the electrical wires out a little to make room, before running the sensor wire down through the back of the panel. Next, I will wrap the top of the unclipped sensor around the wire coming out of my breaker and then snap it back together after making sure I only have the single line that I want to monitor running through it. Then all I have to do is plug the sensor wire that I just clipped on into the monitoring device, and I should be able to see how much power the entire line coming out of the breaker I want to monitor is using. So to do that, I will open up Chrome and then Google Emporia Energy, and after the results load, I want to click on the first link that goes to emporiaenergy.com. And after the site loads, I'll go hover over our platform and then down to click on Web App Login after the menu pops up. Then I will block the notifications in Chrome and go over and click on Sign In, and then sign in with email. And here I will provide the same email address and password that I used when I created my account using the mobile app, and then go down and click on the Sign In button, which will then take me to the home control page. Now I will click on Never when Chrome asks to save my password, then I will explore the app a little where I can see right away that the 4 sensors that I installed are now showing. And I have a balance of 83%, which means that the 2 main sensors are reporting that amount is not being monitored by any of the 4 sensors that I've installed so far. Next I will go down and click on Usage where it will show me graphs of my total power usage, which I can also see by the minute, by the hour, by the day, by the week, by the month, or by the year. I will go back and click on the Live button for the default view that shows my power usage by the second, and then over to click on Discover to see what's available there. This is more of an installation video, so I won't be going into great detail for the app, so I'll go down and click on the menu button to explore that option. Now I will go up and click on the first menu option, which is Device Controls, and it takes me back to the first page that is shown after I logged in. Then from here I will click on Energy Management, and then go up to click on Peak Demand, and this appears to show monthly peak usage, but there is very little data since I just installed the monitor. Now I will click on the back button and then go down to Excess Solar where it just shows that the device is not configured for generation, so I will go back up and click the back button twice to get back to the device controls page. Then I will click back again to pull up the main menu where I will click on the second option for my account. And here it has several options, but the one I'm most interested in is the color scheme, so I will click on the system drop down and select the dark option, which will style all the pages with darker colors. Next, I will go back to the main menu again to click on the Add a New Device option, which is where I would add new Emporia devices, but since I have no more to add, I'll go back and click on the fourth option, which is Manage Devices. And from here, I'll click on my device name and circuits where it will show a list of 16 circuits I can manage along with several other options. Then I'll click on Circuit 1 and name it Test Circuit and get a prompt to select a type where I will choose the other option and go down to click Save Again where it will now show the name I gave it to the right. Next, I will go over and click on the Location and Utility Info option where it will show settings for my location, time zone, along with a setting for my utility rate and billing date. Then I'll go back to the main menu and down to click on the Notification Settings option where it shows several alerts I can set for the monitoring system. Again, this is mostly a video for the installation, so I won't go into depth here, but the last main menu option I'll explore is the Export Raw Data to CSV, where it will let me download power usage data for a specific time frame. And that is all the options in the main menu that piqued my interest, so I'll go back down to click on the Devices option, where I can see it now shows one of the circuits that I named. Then I will explore a little bit more to try to familiarize myself with the user interface and end up figuring out that during setup I will need to click on the Manage Devices option in the main menu to customize all the sensors to make monitoring easier. So after removing the name for the test circuit, I will go through and explore the app a little bit more, but I don't really see anything else that I think I will need to figure out in order to monitor my power usage. I do want to mention here that I ended up using a space heater to figure out which wall outlets were connected to each circuit. Turning the heater on would cause a power spike, so that made it a lot easier to name everything accordingly. I also ended up figuring out that the dehumidifier in my basement was misconfigured, so it was constantly running, which about cut my power usage in half after I set it up properly. So this system will probably pay for itself after a couple of months, considering how high my electric bill was from not knowing how much power everything in my house was using. The one thing I don't like about it though is that it depends on a web service, so I'm hoping that they will come up with a solution to allow me to host the web app locally. So the last thing I want to show is this filter settings in the top right corner. This is where you can change the view to monitor by watts, currency, amps, or volts. Hopefully this video has helped, and feel free to ask any questions that you still may have in the comments. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe for more quick and on-point videos.